Welcome, darling, to Just the Tips. I'm so excited to share this one with you today. I call it a master move on the pole. You may have seen it. If you've been taking pole, you might have tried it. There's lots of little things that can trip us up in this move, but when we learn it well and learn it strong, it's going to open up a world of other movements to us. This movement is the Apprentice, also known as the Hero. You may have another name for it. Whatever you like to call it is just fine. Let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing I want to go over is the arm placement. This one's really easy to mess up, and unfortunately it can make it really hard on ourselves, and we can also injure ourselves if we don't do this correctly. So I recommend you start this actually on the floor just to find the proper alignment. I'm going to find my sit bones to the floor. I'm going to take a deep breath and roll those shoulders back and down. I'm sitting up as tall as I can, getting as long a neck as possible. I'm going to allow those arms to reach out to the side as if a triangle. Imagine I was sideways on the pole. My top arm is going to be thumb up with an activated elbow, using that bicep to help rotate my torso towards the sky. This arm on the bottom has to be very particular. I'm going to make sure my index finger is down. I'm palming around the pole, wrapping my other 3 fingers and my thumb. My elbow is the tricky thing. I want my elbow pointed towards the pole. On the floor, it's going to face to the floor, but then I want to open my torso towards that top arm. Again, it's fundamentally this shape that we're going for on the pole. The most fundamental way to get into our hero or our apprentice is from a standing position. I'm going to take my inside arm closest to the pole, up just above my forehead. I'm going to go on my tippy toes and rise up. My outside leg is going to be right by the base, and I'm going to take my energy up. Next step is I'm going to drop my torso down as much as possible as I shimmy my knee up as high as I can towards my hand. The lower my chest is, the easier it is to get that knee up high. From there, again, I'm going to use that bicep to help me control that top arm and to guide my chest towards the sky. I'm going to have a long spine and just relax this bottom arm. From here, I'm going to bring it into the pole. Palm is facing the pole, my index finger is down, my fingers are wrapped. Now, take note of my elbow. The elbow pit, if it's facing the side or facing the floor, that's actually a hyperextension, and you could see how if I slipped, that would be very hurtful to my elbow or even my shoulder. So what I have to do instead is engage those muscles to guide my elbow pit towards the pole and microbend my elbow to keep that stack. That's going to help me push my torso towards the sky, and I feel nice and stable. Once we feel that stability, then I'm going to pick up this bottom leg and wrap it into my hip crease. So a big mistake that happens with this one is having the leg too far down the pole. This is not where I want to be. Instead, I want it in on that short line, and I want to use my muscles to pull my knee towards my bottom arm as much as possible. Now, the higher my torso is here, this is technically fine, but I want to practice opening my palm, sliding it on the bottom, and getting my torso low. Again, the elbow is stacked, index finger is down. If I wrap this finger, you can see how that starts to encourage that hyperextension and possible injury. So find that alignment. I can push, and then I'm just stabilizing. The lower my torso is, the more grip I have in my legs. Practice here, extending your legs 1 at a time, 2 at a time, and then also I can hook, practicing my arms lifting off of that shape. To come off, I'm going to take my bottom arm up and then push my legs down to right side up. So once you've tried it on that stationary pole, it's actually much easier to get into from that spin pole. I'm going to set it up the same way, go nice and tall, drop my chest and get my leg up high, opening my chest, stacking my arm. I'm going to let that fall, put it right into that lower hip. And from there, I've got a beautiful seamless spin and transition into my hero. definitely get comfortable in that position. Make sure your alignment is impeccable, and that's going to be such a key move to get you in and out of other moves safely and beautifully. I can't wait to hear how your experience goes, darling. See you next time.